asked all of you here today because I know that you're all part of Discovery Chapel here, and there was a situation that came up recently, and I wanted to see what all of your opinions was on the situation. We have youth group and children's ministries every Wednesday night here, as you guys all know, but lately both the youth group and the children's ministry has been growing a lot, and a lot of the kids don't have rides here. So one thing that we came up with is that there's a van, but lately the kids have been using the van. The two leaders of the kids ministry have been picking kids up from all over the area, even from a half an hour away, and driving them here. But that takes the van away from me and Matt, who are the leaders of the youth group, and we have to lately been driving the kids back and forth. But this causes us to get here late because we only have 3 seats in our car, and by the time we pick the 3 kids up, and then we might have to go take another trip to get more kids, it kind of makes us get here late for the other teens who have their parents drop them off. So one thing we were talking about is trying to find a solution to how we could continue to get the kids here on time, but also continue to get the teens here, and if there are any other options other than what it is right now. So I was wondering if you guys had any thoughts on that. Adam, do you have any thoughts?
What's to say we can't just get another van?
Yeah, so
I mean, that would kind of solve the issue, wouldn't it? 'Cause, I mean, then you guys would just have your youth van, and they would have their children's van. I mean, I forget what the cost was, but it's not exactly like buying a rocket ship. They're not that expensive.
yeah, I think it was like 12,000 or something. I'm not really sure. I guess it's
Not that
that
bad.
terrible, but
No.
the one thing was I think that you have to pay insurance every month on it. And
Yeah.
I don't know how much that costs. It might not even be that much.
Like
but
many times a week would you be using this new van?
It'd probably only be on Wednesday nights and then certain like events. Like we take the kids up to Rochester in the Super Bowl thing, and then we'd probably use both vans, but
Yeah, but how many
I'm not
times does
sure.
the van that we have now get used? I mean, it gets
Just once
used.
a week, right?
Yeah,
I
I mean, it
think
gets used that night and
it's
then
Sunday
Sunday mornings.
mornings,
but
That's it. So
other
I mean,
than
it's
that-
not that crazy to think of another van sitting here for most of the week. Also,
yeah, that is true. Caitlin, do you have any thoughts? on what we
Well,
should do?
how about the children's ministry and the youth ministry? You just alternate, like 1 week they use a van and then 1 week you get to use a van. And then if there's like a big event coming up that you guys want to go to with your kids, you can do that. And then if they have a big event, they can do that with their kids. Like just make sure you guys don't have like the same big events each week. But I don't see why you can't just use it every other week. It's not fair that they would get it every single week and then you guys have the same amount of kids and then you have to use your gas and everything and they get like the good end of it. Like it seems like you could alternate and each person gets to use a half.
how many kids do they have in the children's ministry?
That's the thing. It always varies.
More than us.
But yeah,
More
they
than
definitely
we
have more
have
children than we have.
15, we had 10, and 5 needed a ride for us. All
So
of
that's the
theirs
only
needed a
tough
ride.
thing about alternating weeks with the van is you've
They-
got 2 different numbers. You know, one number you need a van sized vehicle. You can't get
Well,
by
what
with
about
just
not
having a
getting
smaller,
like a huge van, but maybe just like a smaller
like a
van?
big SUV type
Yeah,
deal.
just something more than a car that has 3 seats in the back. Like if you could get a van that could fit 5 kids, maybe.
I mean, if you got a
My
big
problem is that then
hatchback
when we
or
grow
something.
more, then we grow out of that, and then we have
Yeah.
a vehicle that
But
can
then maybe
fit
by
in.
then you would have enough money to be able to buy one.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
it
it's
wouldn't
just for
hurt
the
to
time
start
being.
raising some funds just for down the road.
Yeah.
I mean, if you come to a meeting and it's like, we need another van, and you guys are like, we got 5,000 saved up now already.
Or you could always, if you had to, you could just rent a van just for like a big event. It's cheaper than buying one.
Yeah, I've heard about that. You can rent a van or a big bus that
Yeah.
fits like quite a few kids.
That's tough though.
It's cheaper than having to buy one and have it sit there the whole week.
I think
It's
then
cheaper, but it's always nicer to own.
It's nicer to
what
own
you
anything,
have.
but at the same time, if you're not getting enough use out of it and you have that much to pay in insurance, then it would probably be better if you did.
I've heard that renting a van or a bus for one day is really expensive because a lot of times they belong to a company, so you have to use their driver because it's only insured under them. And like the event that we go to, it's overnight, so we would have to pay a driver to stay with us all the way, like in the afternoon all the way to the next morning.
What if you,
Mhm.
one of you guys could be like trained to drive a bus, or would that be
I
kind
think
of?
you need a special license,
Okay.
and that's a long
That's
process.
a long process.
Yeah, and I don't know if I feel comfortable driving a big bus
Full
or
of
if
kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know about
that
that.
would be kind of
That's
scary.
true.
Well, Matt, what do you think about that?
I like what everyone else has been saying, good ideas. I think maybe possibly keep as is. Like, we can continue to give them rides, and we've been getting lucky lately where there's only been